Hey, welcome back. We had so much fun last time, I decided to do a 28-part mini-series of the way the animatronics work, where they first started, and where they're going into the future.
You've got mail.
Hold on a second. I've got mail. I'm popular. I was fired for tampering with animatronics. I didn't even touch the animatronics. General unprofessionalism. They're probably talking about the way that I treated the guy that just kept calling and calling and calling. And odor. Alright, they got me. Well, I apologize, I won't be able to do the mini-series anymore. Now I have no idea what I'm going to do for today's topic. Godzilla was created for the Japanese movie by the same name in 1954. He's a prehistoric monster, or Kaiju, that was awakened and buffed up by nuclear radiation. There was much more to the conception of Godzilla than to merely create a monster that would fight other monsters or destroy cities for the sake of entertainment. It was initially derived as a metaphor for nuclear weapons, as the thoughts of events like the nuclear bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki from World War II still remain vibrant memories in the consciousness of the Japanese people. The Japanese films remain consistent with the political and social climates in Japan at the time of each movie. Godzilla is the English translation for Gojira, which is what he's called in the Japanese films. It's a mixture of Gorira, which means gorilla, and Kujira, which means whale in Japanese. The name came about during the planning stage of the film, where he was described as being large and strong like a gorilla, but of the aquatic origin like a whale. So, there you go, Godzilla the massive gorilla whale. Godzilla is considered a kaiju, which is Japanese for strange beast. Kaiju movies are Japanese movies where massive monsters fight each other while usually attacking cities and the military. There are multiple individuals that were credited with the creation of Godzilla. Ishiro Honda, who was the director, Eiji Tsuburaya, who created the special effects, and Tomoyuki Tanaka, who was the film producer. When asked about the creation of Godzilla, Tomoyuki Tanaka said,
当時、日本人は放射能の恐ろしさに取り憑かれていました。その恐怖がゴジラをヒットさせたのです。当初はゴジラは自然の人類への復讐を象徴していました。現代では原発事故がいかに容易に起こるかを示したかったのですが、核戦争の生々しいイメージはタブーであったため、ゴジラは面白い方法でメッセージを明るみに出すことにしたのです。
Godzilla's origins vary between the Japanese films, but many of his features remain pretty consistent. He stands on two legs, and the character design is based around being an amphibious reptilian monster, which is loosely based on a dinosaur. He has scaly skin, and plates along his back and tail like a stegosaurus. In the character design, the art director wanted to emphasize the creature's relationship with the atomic bomb, so a skin texture was used that was inspired by the keloid scars that were present on survivors of Hiroshima. Here is a question: what color is Godzilla? If you said green, you wouldn't really be wrong. He's generally depicted as a green color when shown in pictures, comic books, movie posters, as well as newer movies. But the costumes that were in movies before Godzilla 2000 were usually painted charcoal gray with bone white dorsal plates. One impressive thing about Godzilla is his wide range of awesome skills. I bet you can just name a few already off the top of your head.
Nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
Okay. Maybe you can't, so I guess I'll just tell you. His vitality was one of his key traits, as he had the ability to regenerate, and his tough skin made regular weapons ineffective. Over the years, he's been seen with the powers of magnetism, precognition, and the electrical bite, eye beams, an atomic pulse, and the ability to fly. His most well-known power is the atomic heat beam, which is a beam made up of nuclear energy that it generates from within its body before breathing a destructive red or blue blaze from its mouth. Godzilla is a very complex character, in that he's not classified as good or bad. Throughout the movies, his motives change depending on what suits the movie's story. He does not necessarily like humans, but he'll fight alongside them should the need arise. He does not make an effort to not destroy buildings or anything else in the cities while fighting adversaries, and though he doesn't eat people, he can turn against them without the need for a reason. Producer Shogo Tomiyama referred to Godzilla as similar to a Shinto god of destruction. He does not have the same moral compass that people have, and as such, there's no good or evil as humans would view actions. As a god of destruction, he destroys everything in his path, and from there can be rebirth. In the trailer for the 2014 Godzilla, the famous quote from J. Robert Oppenheimer is played over images of Godzilla. In it, he quotes a line from Hindu scripture: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." This quote was when he described what he witnessed on July 16, 1945, when he viewed the first detonation of a nuclear weapon during the Trinity test of the Manhattan Project. He knew that they had created a weapon that was meant for the sole purpose of killing, and were becoming destroyers of the world as they viewed a source of death that would clear out life. This once again aligns with what the creators of Godzilla had modeled Godzilla after. The nuclear weapon would cause undeterred destruction, and so does Godzilla. Many of the old movies were done with miniature sets. Godzilla was 50 meters in the original 1954 film, and in the 1956 American version of Godzilla, he's said to be over 120 meters. In the Japanese films, he continued to be resized as well, and Godzilla got up to 100 meters. This was primarily so that he would remain intimidating over new buildings in Tokyo skyline. In the 2014 American version of Godzilla, he was 108 meters. In 2016's Shin Godzilla, he was 118 meters. 2017's Godzilla Planet of the Monsters pushed Godzilla's size to 300 meters. Way to go a little bit overboard. Now, the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters height of 119 meters seems a bit lackluster. To be fair, the 2017 movie is supposed to happen in the future when Earth evacuates and then returns 20 millennia later, so in that time it would be very possible that Godzilla would be 300 meters by then. So it does seem that he will continue growing in these movies. speaking of Godzilla movies, I've got to cut this video short and we'll wrap it up in part 2 because I'm about to go see Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It's gonna be awesome.
What you doing?
Doing my video on Godzilla.
Why?
Because Godzilla is awesome!
No, you're wrong. King Kong is better.